Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Thursday Night Mini Healings. I'm Summer Avalon with Summer Avalon Healing Arts. And if this is your first time here, welcome. So it's Thursday night. I'm here in my little office. And actually, I don't really have anything different and special planned for tonight. But that doesn't mean something new will come along. So I'm going to just play around with settings. If you are here and want to say hello, please do so. If you are watching on the replay and don't like the first 5-10 minutes of chit chat, I suggest 10 minutes in to fast forward and you will come upon the first healing pulse of the night. And I expect we'll do one about 30 minutes in and at least one towards the end, about an hour in. Usually we go about an hour and 15 minutes, sometimes a little longer. It all just sort of depends. And I've been playing around with settings so I don't get too much glare in my glasses, because right now I can see everything in front of me on the front of my glasses. I did purchase some non-glare glasses. Yeah, what a scam. Totally can't tell the difference. I could have gone to the dollar store and bought the same thing. So we will see if what I do makes a little bit of a difference, but we'll just check. So if you're out there and you have something you would like to work on, please put it in the comments. Currently, we've got comments from Facebook and YouTube, but you don't see, the YouTubers don't see the Facebook comments, and the Facebook people don't see the YouTube comments. Hi, Joan. Wonderful to see you. Fabulous. So it's a really nice summer evening here. Could be a tiny bit cooler, but you know, that's okay. So I hope everybody has a good evening tonight. I'm just going to see all sorts of options, and sometimes I don't exactly like how it ends up. But anyway, trying to think what I worked on this week. So we've got our abundance group. Been doing some work on that. And removing blocks, actually not just on abundance, but some other things too that are playing a role in blocking abundance. So that's been a little interesting, just seeing if we can make things shift. Yes. I don't know, sometimes I get on here and I feel really chatty, and tonight I'm just sort of quiet, but that's okay, right? Trying to, so they have these little things. Notice the corners just changed, but it blocks something, so I don't really like that though. They call it an overlay. Yeah, because here's what it was. Don't like that. I think that's the one I had before, but my name is up here in the corner. And I think that's the one I had before. Yeah, that doesn't really work very good, does it, when it blocks your name? I don't know why they have it do that. Anyways, all sorts of things. So I think tonight, where'd my book go? So I've got my book where I keep track of things, but I talked about this a little bit last time. So it is a book that, too many books lying around. So it's a book that, maybe we'll do some work with. So we used this book before, and I sort of like some of the things in here. Problem is, I haven't really prepared to use this book, but it's got some interesting things in it. We will just see, maybe next time, but I need to find trying to get some little image in the corner so it's a little less invasive. Not having such good luck with it though. I don't like the melon ones. We'll just keep it there. So I'm going to get back to chat. Who else is here? So Lisa's there. Oh, and Valerie's got a group. Fabulous. And Valerie and Sissy and Diane. Oh, and there's Marina. Wonderful. So we're going to do a healing pulse in 2 minutes. I need to find that book though, so hold on. So this is a book that tells you the energetic reason why I think, oh, I see it. I put it on the shelf for easy access, and then I forgot about it. So here it is, right down here. So I think we're going to talk about this, the secret language of your body. And it's a very cool book. So with this, it has areas of concern, or if you've gotten certain issues, and it tells you why. So, all right, so here, for instance, if you have a cold sore, it says, feeling deprived, like you're not getting what you want, difficulty communicating your desires because of fear of rejection or not being liked, feeling uncomfortable, disappointed and angry, allowing others to control or manipulate you, then feeling let down or frustrated. So, and with this, the concept is that if you have something going on in your body, there is an energetic reason why it's happening. And so, yeah, it's quite interesting. I've got a couple books that I actually like better, but I have not found them. They are in a box somewhere. I think last week I told you about my Aura chart, which is here. Let me chat a little bit about that. So that was in the bottom of the box, sort of hidden. Oh, and there's Anne-Marie. Super. So I'm going to start writing things down. Oh, and it's 10 after. So is everyone ready for a healing pulse? So if you are new, I will give you instructions. Otherwise, for you regulars, you know what to do. All right, so with the healing pulse, it is directed to where you want it to go. And so what I want you to do is think about if you've got any pain or discomfort, that's probably where you're going to want to send the energy. If you're feeling some type of emotion or anxiety, think about where that lives in your body. Where do you feel it the most? Oh, there's Denise. Going to be a big crowd tonight, so that's fabulous. So say you're feeling anxiety, think about where do you feel that the most when you're really anxious. So for me, when I'm anxious, it's in the pit of my stomach. I know some people, their chest gets tight or they can't talk and their throat sort of closes up. So you want to pick and choose where you want to direct the energy. That's probably one of the most important pieces. But in the end, the energy will go to where it needs to go. So I want you to rub your hands together. And there's Joanne. Fabulous. Until they're warm. Once they're warm, I want you to place your hands exactly where you want to send the energy. And then next, I want you to imagine that I'm standing there right next to you, and my hands are on your hands. Now, if the place that you want to send energy to is hard to reach, just imagine that you have at least one hand there, and then manage my hand on your hand. And so here's the most important part. You need to be open and allowing the energy to come in. So I am starting to send the energy now. And so just breathe it in. Breathe in the energy, allowing the healing to happen, and allowing the energy just to flow and go where it needs to go. Just breathe it in. Okay, so that was our first healing pulse of the night. I'm going to start taking down what people want to work on. So Sissy, I've got your knee. And if anyone else would want to comment and just let me know what you want to work on, that would be great. I'm just making my little list of Oh, there's Deborah Lee. Thank you, Deborah. Fabulous. All right, so Marina, self-worth. And so for those of you in the abundance group, know that I was curious where everybody's scores were because we're halfway through the month. And so I was going to wait till the end of the month, but I couldn't wait. So I did people's scores of where you are with abundance, lack, and stagnation. And everybody moved really nicely. So I'm just thrilled. So I'm going to put those scores in the private Facebook group, and you'll be able to see those tonight. And then tomorrow, I'm working on removing invisibility to abundance and some other things. All right, Joanne, right ankle. And self-worth. Anne Marie, confusion. All right, so whatever you want to work on, just make a comment. All right, so Joan, we're going to work on trusting the universe and staying calm. Huh. Lisa, you should be able to see comments unless you've got them turned off. If you're on your phone, there is an option to see comments. I can't remember how to turn it on. If it's you have to slide a certain way. Group, can anyone help Lisa with instructions on how she can see comments? Because currently everybody's on Facebook, because if you were on YouTube, you wouldn't see any of the Facebook comments. Okay. So Lisa. Hi, Pam. Oh, good, Lisa. Glad. All right, so Lisa, headache and racing. So the chat's moving a little quickly. So if I missed you, let me know. All right, so Joanne, I had written down right angle self-worth. What's going on with your, slide left. That was instruction for Lisa. Okay, thank you. Wonderful to see everyone. So Sissy, we're going to start with you and just see why if you have the underlying reason why your injury happened to your knee. And I know we've talked about this a few times. So sometimes if you trip and fall, you don't get hurt. But other times, maybe you hit your hip or you hit your knee or you hit your ankle. And there are times when you bounce up and nothing happened. But then there are other times where you have something really serious that happened and you wonder, what was the difference? Why did that happen for that instance and nothing happened? Sometimes when you have a trapped emotion or something negative, it will lodge in that part of your body and it almost attracts injury. So let's see what Sissy's got, if she's got things going on in her knee. And I do get she does. So let's see if this helps. And I'm going to use my trauma list. Vulnerable. Let me get an age on that. And then we'll release it. That's not good, Pam. I'll put on the list. I don't know if I've ever worked on something like that. I know I've tried dowsing for lost items. I'm a bad dowser when it comes to that. So on a woo-woo note, when you lose something and you swear it was right where you left it and now it's not there, sometimes it supposedly is in another dimension. How crazy is that, huh? But I've had items where all of a sudden they appear right where I know I left them, but it wasn't there when I looked. All right, so we'll work on angry for Pam. And anyone new, if you want anything specific to work on, just let me know. All right, but I'm getting an age for Sissy, so let's see. Around age 18. That is a rather vulnerable age, though, too. But let's go ahead and release that. So Sissy, with this, most of the time we don't need to know exactly what the instance or occurrence was. Sometimes to release it we do, but most of the time we don't. And oftentimes at some point it will come to you. It's like, oh, that's when I got in trouble, or that's when something happened. But let's just remove. So I remove the trapped emotion, and then I fill the voids. So Pam, that means your keys might be in the freezer. Yeah, sort of funny. Okay, so let's see. Removing vulnerable for Sissy. And the voids have been filled. So you need to call it back, Pam. Tell the universe you need your keys. I hope you have a spare set. Okay, so did that release? Yes. Marina, you are next. We're going to work on self-worth. So let's see what tool we're going to use for Marina. Sorrow. Let me get an age on that. So Marina, I'm getting this is something pretty recent. So let me go ahead and release that. Okay, I'm getting that did release and the voids have been filled. Oh, and there's Mary. Welcome, Mary. So I'm going to put you on the list for loneliness. All right, so Joanne, we've got right ankle, self-worth. Let's see which one we're going to work on. Self-worth is what we're going to work on. Let's see what tool we're going to use. My trauma list. Overburdened. Let me get an age on that, Joanne. Around age 19. So plus or minus a year. So it could have been 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there. Was that a time in your life where you had a lot going on and not enough time? Okay, so let's see. We're going to release overburden for Joanne. I'm getting that released. And the voids have been filled. So fabulous. Anne Marie, you are next. Joanne, let me know if that age was helpful. All right, so Anne Marie, we've got hold on, my muscle testing is just not quite telling me anything. Not very helpful on a Thursday night, huh? I think that would do it, Joanne. Overburden definitely fits that. Okay, so let's just see. So I'm going to check back in and just see if I can muscle test more effectively. So with this Emery, it says rigid. So I'm going to find an age for that. I know for me, when I was younger, I was rather rigid, and I always had an idea in my head about how things should be, and that was how they were supposed to be. The universe has taught me that can't be so rigid. It makes things so much harder if you're rigid. But let me get an age on this for you. Around age 23. So I don't know if you've got an event or an instance, or that was around the time where something happened, but I'm going to go ahead and release that. So I'm going to put this up. So this is Joanne's why she was overburdened. And this time matches up with when she got married and moved 1,000 miles from home. Definitely an overburdensome time. All right, so moving on to Joan. And Marie, let me know about that, the timing around age 23. So let's see, Joan, I've got a couple for you. We'll see which ones you're going to work on. Staying calm. Okay. So we'll do another healing pulse in another few minutes. Joan, I'm getting the word disappointment. Okay, let me get an age on that. Around age 13. So 12, 13, 14, Joan. Does that ring a bell? I'm going to go ahead and release that. So that's been removed. And the void has been filled. Lisa, you are next. And then after Lisa, we're going to do another healing pulse. Indecision. Although, which you gave 2, so let me see. This goes with headache. Let me get an age on indecision. You're welcome, Joan. Age 17, Lisa. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that, and then we will do a healing pulse. Okay, so that cleared. Pam, you are next after the healing pulse. So let's figure out where you want to receive the pulse. So if you have a physical discomfort and you use the first healing pulse and now things are a little different, or you notice that the energy is shifted, you're going to want to adjust your hands accordingly. So adjust it to where the discomfort, or some people just feel a tightness. So you're going to adjust your hands. Or if you want to work to a totally different area, then you're going to shift your hands, because that's what's going to guide the energy. Rub your hands together until they're warm. And if you don't know where to send the energy, I suggest you just send it to your heart. All right, so place your hands and imagine my hands on your hands, and I'm starting to send the energy now. Just reading the comments. can see. Great, Marina. And Anne-Marie, it's okay if you can't remember. The nice thing is, if you can't remember and I can't get it to clear, then we need to figure out what it is. But I got that to release. And so you don't have to remember, although oftentimes somewhere in the next day or so, you might remember what it was. But luckily, it wasn't really that important. So I'm sending the energy now. So be open and allowing the energy to flow. Really breathe it in. So we're going to do a little bit more breath work like we did last time. So this is called a box breath. So I want you to breathe it in and hold. When you can't hold it any longer, breathe it out and hold. And when you can't hold it any longer, breathe it in and hold. And so pretty simple, sort of like the waltz, only with your breath. Okay, so that was the second healing pulse of the night. There will be at least 2 more healing pulses, if not more. All right, so Pam, you are next. So we're going to see, so you've got some lost car keys, but you're also angry. So let's see what comes up that we're going to work on. We're going to work on your anger. See if we can at least drop it down a few notches. And it's the word conflict, Pam. Let me see if I can get an age on that. Around age 18. So when you have trapped emotions from a past event and you're currently feeling anger now, oftentimes it takes less anger to bring you up to a certain level because you've already got layers of anger here. So you no longer start here, you start here, and it makes your temper be more hair trigger. So I'm going to go ahead and release conflict because nobody needs conflict and nobody needs to be elevated in their level of tolerance to things, because this really makes you a lot more sensitive when maybe it's not even warranted. So let's see. We're going to move conflict. Let me just double check. And I'm getting that released and the voids have been filled. All right, so Mary, you are last on the list. What I typically do when I get to the bottom of the list, if no one else has any new additional issues, I'll go back to the top of the list and I'll go through the existing issues because some of you did list a couple. Other of you, like Sissy and her knee, I think there's probably more than just one thing there. So Mary, we're going to look and see if there is something contributing to your level of loneliness. Disappointment. Let me get an age on that, Mary. You're very welcome, Pam. Around age 18, Mary. So ages are tough, but typically this is within a year. So it could have been 17, 18, 19. So I don't know if there's an event that was really disappointing to you. I'll just make sure that I can get it to release. And I'm getting that did release. So if you can think of what that event was, that's sort of nice, and it confirms what I'm coming up with. But the good thing is you don't have to know exactly what it is for me to clear. Sometimes you do, but in this case we did not. All right, so time for my commercial break. It's August 1st, I've got a price increase due to all the new things that I'm adding, including my little Healy, which is in the house, not my office. But I'm using that pretty much with every regular session, just about. And I haven't really talked a lot about its background, but I'm finding that it to be a really powerful tool. And what I like the most about it is it scans you. And it's so much more efficient than me and my little muscle testing because it's so quick. And it's just an interesting tool. So, but it was expensive. And so I've got some price increases coming up. The fabulous thing is, though, I don't like to just jump up my prices on my regulars. So if you have purchased a session at the most current pricing structure, you are grandfathered in at that price for the next 2 years. So reasons why you might want a private session, several reasons. One, privacy. We can talk face to face and nobody knows. The other reason is on here, I use the quickest tools that will get the most people help in the shortest amount of time. However, during a private session, I use every tool necessary to clear what we need to clear. There's a couple of my tools that sometimes it takes 10, 15 minutes just using the one tool. For instance, I've got an entity removal tool that sometimes takes that long to just do one piece of the session, but it can be quite powerful. And so far, it's had some really amazing results. And so it just gives you a lot more flexibility. Plus, if you want to learn muscle testing, that is a part of the session too, if you want to learn. Currently, the rates are $75 for a 1-hour session and 3 sessions for $180, and that's American US dollars. Wow, Marina, thank you for that feedback. That is fabulous. So, and I'm impressed because not everybody is aware if you've got frustration and your frustration level is not as apparent. That definitely makes life so much easier. So back to the list. So Sissy, we're going to do round 2 about your knee. Let's see if there is more reasons why your knee was the target of the injury. Thank you for sharing that, Lisa. Okay, so I've got a list for Sissy. Sluggish, which this is under a list called emotion, sensations, and behaviors, but there must be something to this. So let's see if I can get an age. Around age 13, Sissy, I don't know if there's something that happened around that age, but would have been 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there, and something that made you feel really sluggish. But somehow that's playing a role in why that went to your knee. There are times when the connection between an emotion and experience is very obvious. But there are times like this where, to me, there doesn't seem to be a direct correlation. But one of my mentors, Dr. Bradley Nelson, so here's his book, Emotion Code, Dr. Bradley Nelson. He says anything can cause anything. And so never rule something out just because it doesn't seem to connect. And wow, Pam. Pam found her car keys, guys. So the universe decided to release it from wherever it was holding it. Very good. All right, so I'm going to remove sluggish from Sissy. Okay, did that release? Yes, and the voids have been filled. Super. Sissy, if you would flex that knee or take a walk around the room, see if you notice a difference. Just because that energy was somewhere, probably in your knee, and releasing it means that your knee can function a lot easier. All right, so Marina, we are going to go back to you and self-worth. Let's see what tool we're going to use. And so tonight, I think we're going to do, let me see what we did last time. So last time we did brain balancing, we did the aura protection, we did the umbrella shielding, and then we did the 7 healing pulses in a baggie. We probably won't do as much of that this time, but we'll do at least some of it, unless you guys have a preference. So let me know. I get the word restless, Marina. Let me get an age for that. Around age 18. So 17, 18, 19 in there. So I'm going to go ahead and release that. Okay, that did release. Let me know if that resonates with you, Marina. Okay, Joanne. Joanne, are you using those healing pulses on your ankle too? Just curious if that helps. We're gonna work on your right ankle now too, and just see if there's a reason why that ankle is giving you troubles. And we're going to do another healing pulse. This time, I'm going to amp it up a bit. Are you all good with this? So, basically, this will start the same. You want to think about where you're going to direct the energy to. That sounds like a good idea, Pam. I appreciate that contribution. It lets me know that it's important to you guys. All right, so Joanne's going to send this to her ankle, but the cool thing is when I have a healing pulse for an individual, you can all tag along and direct the energy to where you need it. So like Sissy, I would expect that you send it to your knee. Marina, I would expect if your back's still giving you issues that you'll send it there. And the nice thing, Marina, is you don't always have to know the specifics, or even if there was an individual event. Okay, so Marina, if you can't reach your middle back, just imagine that your hands are there. All right, so rub your hands together until they're warm. Place your hands, or imagine yourself placing your hands Then I also want you to imagine that I'm standing there, right there in front of you. My hands are on your hands. And as always, the most important piece is be open and allowing the healing to happen. And if you found that box breath helpful, I want you to continue with that. I know some of you, the breathing doesn't really affect the healing. So you can just breathe like you normally would. But if you notice there is power in your breath, which there are many gurus that say that there is, use it. Not every tool works for everyone. And so with this healing energy, we're going to pull in the elements and the directions. So we're going to start with the directions of the north, the south, the east, and the west. We're going to call in the elements of water and air and earth, and lastly, fire. And all those complement each other, but yet have such high individual strengths that it makes this energy extremely powerful when combined. So just breathe it in. And if you're drawn to a certain element, like the fire, see the flame, feel the heat. Imagine whatever you're working on, that the fire can sear and remove what needs to be healed. Or if you're drawn to the water, imagine the water washing away what doesn't belong. Or the air, you've already got the tool for the air, is using your breath. And earth, if you're drawn to earth, imagine that you're grounding, that your feet are barefoot in the soil, and Mother Earth is reaching up to help you with healing, absorbing things that aren't yours, that don't belong, and helping you recycle them back to source. So just breathe it in. Open, allowing. Good, Pam. And I imagine finding your keys helped with that too. So just breathe it in. Okay, so that was Joanne's Healing Pulse. So thank you, Joanne. And I'm sure everybody else enjoyed tagging along on your pulse too. So next we've got Anne-Marie, and we're going to see more about confusion. Yeah, getting that there is more we can do. I'm getting repressed aggression. I can get an age on that. Around age 19, Anne-Marie. So 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there. You are very welcome, Joanne. All right, so I'm going to release and remove repressed aggression for Anne-Marie. And that's been released. Next is Joan. And you gave two things. We're going to work on trusting the universe. That is hard, because sometimes you just want to speed things up, and the universe says, no, you're going to stay right where you are until you trust me. So let's see. Indecision. Let me get an age on that, Joan. Around age 20. So let's release and remove that. Okay. That released and the voids have been filled. Let's see. Lisa. I think I wrote this down right. I've got headache, racing. Just seeing if I wrote down the right thing. Headache and RACNG. So is that racing? You're very welcome, Joan. Oh, cool. So I'm getting you still have at least a twinge or headache. So I don't know if it's gone, but the underlying reason. So we will keep working a little bit on that and just see if we can reduce that down. Sabotage. Let me get an age on that. Around age 18. So that seems to be the age of the evening. Right in there, late teen years. So 17, 18, 19, somewhere in there. So this is one I usually give a little bit more detail just because it helps you figure out maybe what it was or who it was. So I'm getting that this was someone near to you, because sometimes it's not always yours, it's someone else's, but you were so close to them that you experienced what they were going through. But this was you. It was a male. And generally I ask friend or family or like coworker. So friend, no. Family, no. Someone from work. So I hope that helps you narrow it down. But I'm going to go ahead and release the energy just because this definitely is not supportive of you and where you are right now. Okay, so I'm getting that released and the voids have been filled. Let me know if that dropped the level of your headache down, Lisa, because that's what I'm hoping happened. All right, so got a few more people left. We got Pam and Mary. So Pam, we're going to see if there's more to that being angry, because I really, really want to get rid of that. All right. Then I realized, so in the beginning I talked about that book, even couldn't find it when it was right here, and then I haven't referenced it. And it's getting a little late, but we'll see if anyone has anything you want me to look up. So Lisa, is it exactly the same as what it was when you started today? I'm getting you're dehydrated too. Okay, so let's see. As I speak about dehydration, that is definitely one of my challenges. I am not a water drinker. Okay, so we're working on Pam. And so, Pam, with this, it's the word ambivalent. And I think I'm going to look this up just because in my head, I think I know what it means. I think it means more that you don't really care. But that's just my impression from having read the word in context. All right. So it's an adjective, undescribed or undecided as to whether or not to take a proposed course of action, having feelings both for and against the proposed action. So another word is you've got mixed feelings. And let's go ahead and release that. Actually, I'm going to get you an age on that. Around age 20, Pam. But that's playing a role in your anger. It's one of the layers. So let me get rid of that. All right. So I just muscle tested, Lisa, that whoever you're thinking about, that is the person. Wow. That is very cool, Lisa. Love when it happens like that. That's just makes me smile. All right. So Pam, I got ambivalent to clear. And let's see. And Mary, we're going to work on loneliness because unfortunately loneliness is typically a bigger issue. So I imagine you've got more than one layer behind being lonely. So let's see if we can at least remove one of the layers. Sorrow. I'll get an age on that, Mary. We are not doing round 3 just because of the time arena, but I think I might take a few quick things for the book. If you want to know the underlying reason why something's going on with you, let me know and I'll see. So like if you have gallbladder issues, if you've got very specific things like, for example, like balance. So lately I've been having balance issues and I found out it was from a psychic attack. And so, but here is the reason why energetically. Feeling unstable, difficulty getting your bearings, feeling like you're being pulled in different directions, creating confusion and scattered thinking. And I know that did contribute to my balance. This combined with the psychic attack made it really so much worse. So, and then it's got things like belching, Bell's palsy, baldness, bacterial infections, bleeding, blacking out, boils, bone breaks, bone cancer, bone deformity, bloated, blisters. So all sorts of things. So if you've got something in here, okay. So I've got a chart on the spine, and I think each vertebrae has a reason an energetic reason connected to it. So let's just see. And Mary, I haven't forgotten about you. I've got the page marked, and we're just going to, okay. So I need to get an age for Mary and her sorrow from Hold on, I'm having trouble with the age. Let's see. Around age 14, Mary. I don't know if that rings a bell. So 14 or 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there. So let's go ahead and clear that. And the voids have been filled. All right, so let me see. So I've got the spine book. All right, so mid-back reason. The problem is there are 12 lumbar in your mid-back. But some of these remind me of you, Marina. Because there's one that says feeling stuck. That's T5. T6, carrying too many burdens, stress, and problems. T7, carrying bitterness, resentment, feelings of victimhood. T8, unsatisfied with life but resistant to change. T9, not honoring yourself and your needs. Very interesting. All right, so Joan, let's see. Digestive. And of course, they don't have digestive issues in this part of the book, but let me just see. All right, so this is the energetic reason for hernias. It doesn't differentiate between the different types of hernias. Abusive relationships, controlled, taken advantage of, manipulated, exploited, feeling stuck in a rut and that things are hopeless, negative attitude, guilt, anger, feeling burdened by life, frequent self-sabotage, blocking your creative expression. So, Joanne, when you think back through your life, has that some of that been a part of it, at least for a short time? Yes, it's a very interesting thing, Marina, that how many things in your body are all connected to different. So this is the secret language of your body, and it's definitely got a lot of things in it. So I'm going to check one other thing. And so this, I think, if anyone has Louise Hay's book, The Language, was it The Language of Your Body? But it's very similar to this, only it's really basic and almost easier to decipher. This has multiple areas, so you sort of have to know the book, which I should have done that. Okay, that bingo's a good thing. It means I was sort of right on with that different one. And so Joanne and anyone else who wants to release something like this, we're going to do a little extra thing. We did this maybe a few months ago about releasing, because I don't really talk about, let me just grab, I need a blank piece of paper. Aha, here we go. So, because I just typically clear things for you, there are times in a private session I will teach you how to clear. So Joanne, I want you to think about those memories of that abusive time, and anyone else, if you've got a time period that you think is recurring in your life that is causing problems now, I want you to start by, we're going to release this by scribbling. So I want you to scribble back and forth. Just keep scribbling and focusing on this particular issue. And at some point, it starts changing to an oval. Look at, I'm already starting to do more of an oval. With this, eventually, ooh, I've got a circle. When it switches to a circle, that means it's cleared. So a quite powerful thing, and you don't have to be an expert at healing to know that it's cleared. But it's sort of a weird thing. I was doing it with a client, and I didn't have paper with me, so I was just doing it in the air, just going back and forth and back and forth. And eventually I noticed that I'm doing looping, and then all of a sudden it's like this. So very cool. So let's go ahead and do some healing pulse work. And so let's start with, so we're going to do the brain balancing. And so the brain balancing will balance your left and right brain hemispheres. It does help with balance, although it's only a piece of your balance. But I think this will really help you. Very cool. And this is something you can use. And if I went too quickly, just definitely watch the replay. For those of you who have never watched a replay, there are a number of you who have watched the replay and have told me that they use the replays and use the energy of the healing pulses. So that is a suggestion for you. Wow, Joanne, that is very cool. I'm very proud of you for doing that. So let's do brain balancing. So when you have a strong right-left hemisphere, I mean, the world functions more as one. You're not half of your body against the other half. And there are so many things that when the body and the mind are flowing and working together, everything just happens more easily. And so with this, you need to think about, do I want to use my own energies? Because I've been wanting you all to experiment with just your own personal healing frequencies. But with this, you can pull in the healing pulse energies too. So to start, I want you to rub your hands together like you would with a typical healing pulse. If you're just going to use your frequencies, you don't even need to call in the healing pulse, but just set the intention that you're going to use your own personal energies. And then I want you to put your 2 fingers together, and then they are going to go, I want you to rub through your hair until you reach your skull about an inch above your ears. And so they should be about, so like here to here, imagine them, the energy connecting. And so it's going to go through and connect with your pineal gland. To start, you're going to pick one hand and you're going to gather the energy there. So imagine that that hand is warmer, more tingly, and as the energy just gathers, it just really starts to build up. And once it reaches a certain point, then you're going to send the energy to the other hand. And so the first couple times it goes rather slowly, but the more you do it, the quicker and the more open the pathway is. And so just imagine the energy slowly entering your head. It's behind your first eye. It's about halfway. It is about halfway. It's past your other eye. It is just reaching your other hand. And so with the energy, I want you to gather that energy in your other hand. And just gather it until that hand is basically full. And then you're going to start to send the energy back. So this goes a little quicker. Not as quick as if there's no impediments. So just imagine the energy going. And then when it reaches your other hand, I want you to gather the energy in your hand. And then go back and forth and back and forth. Sort of like a ping pong ball or a laser pointer eventually, where it's just quick and it's immediate. And each time that it goes, just imagine the path becoming stronger and wider, and that the whole brain is just activated and working together. And then after this, we are going to do just making sure I didn't miss anything. So let's do the aura shielding again, just because that's something that I've just started doing the last couple of months. I think it helps everyone. So it is strengthening your aura, which in the end helps you with protection and repelling negativity. So you guys are pretty quiet out there when this usually happens. I know a number of you have dropped off because you've fallen asleep. So I've been trying to figure out, is there a certain order I should do things in to keep you awake a little longer? But I had hoped that the brain balancing going first would keep you awake. But I guess if you are asleep, you probably needed it. So let's do the aura protection. And so again, with this, I do want you to practice using your own energies, but go back and forth and play around with it. Use your own energies, but maybe sometimes use the healing pulse with it too, and just see the differences. But also notice the similarities. Well, we're almost done, Joan, okay? So to strengthen your aura, what you're going to do is you want to activate your energies. And if you're going to use the healing pulse, you're going to just imagine that you're pulling in the energies of the healing pulse, but start by rubbing your hands together. And then, send it to your aura, or you can go like this. Are you going to send from the inside out to the aura, or are you going to send it like this? So it's not like there's rules. So pick what works best for you and just imagine that you're sending the energy to it. And what happens when your aura is really strong, it's easier for it to repel negativity. I totally understand, Joan. I have 2 little doggies waiting in my house that would not let me go in and sit down. So just imagine that energy going to your aura. Yep. So last time we did the umbrella shielding. So when you do shield, imagine that the outside of your shield is reflective, because that way if anyone sends you anything, it reflects back to them. Hopefully that means that they'll quit because it doesn't feel as good. And so we'll end in just a moment with the 7 healing pulses. And I know some of you use this. So you have 7 healing pulses to get you through the next week. So use it if you want to boost up your aura protection, or if you want to boost up your brain balancing, or if you've got a pain or an ache, call it in and use it. Okay, so we're going to do the final healing pulse of the night. So this is just going to be sort of a laid back calming, healing pulse. No extra frills. If you want to do the breathing, great. So rub your hands together. If you really don't have a spot where you want to send the energy to, I again suggest the heart or the head, or if you've got an area that maybe the muscles are a little tight, go ahead and send it to there. And most importantly, just be open and allowing. So imagine my hands are on top of your hands because I'm sending energy now. So just breathe it in. Open and allowing. Okay, so that was our last healing pulse of the night. So let me know if you have any questions. On my Facebook page, I did put something about free 15-minute consultations, and my first person asking about it was looking for a free psychic reading. I do not do psychic readings. That is not one of my gifts. But just know, especially for my Thursday night crew, if you have questions about healing and what we could do in a private session, please reach out. Oh, Joan, thank you. Hug those puppies for me. Tell Jane we missed her. Oh, and again, for my abundance people, tonight I'm going to post your mid-month abundance scores, which, again, I'm rather impressed. And I'm going to put more information about the Healy abundance frequencies that I've got too. So I'll probably put more about that information this weekend. You are very welcome, Valerie. Thank you for bringing your guests. You're welcome, Lisa. I hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. And it's Father's Day too this weekend. All right, I am out of here. I have puppies calling me. Have a fabulous night. As always, I wish you all the best, and I will be here next Thursday, 7 Central. I hope you will be too. Invite your friends and family who you think might benefit from this. Have a good evening. Bye.